Hello, besties. Welcome back to my chronically cozy life and my new podcast series, Cozy Chats, where I am talking about building a life and business with a chronic illness and or neurodivergent brain. My name is Randi. I am your chronically ill and ADHD business bestie. I am a content strategist and writer and the creator of the Chronically Cozy Creators Club, where you can come together, build community, and meeting other people doing the same thing, find support, resources, and have a little bit of fun. It's a really great place. My goal with this series right now is to bring together entrepreneurs, talk about the reality of it all, the ups, the downs, and how we can create a business that actually feels like it honors our needs. Today's guest has a very similar goal to me. She is a fellow podcast host. Her podcast, Abiding Hysteria, focuses on telling the stories of chronically ill and disabled women and gender diverse people and their journeys through the diagnosis and medical system. It is a very cool podcast. I've already been a guest on her podcast and it was amazing, and I can't wait to see it when it comes out. However, today we want to talk about the experience that is looking for a job and job hunting and working as a chronically ill and disabled person. So thank you, Rachel. I'm so excited you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so great to have you. Can you tell us, to start with, a little bit of your story, your journey, and how you started your podcast?
Sure. So on my show, I actually have a very short episode 0 that kind of goes through in detail my story with disability, getting diagnoses and such. I have degenerative disc disease, migraines, PCOS, ADHD, and POTS, and I'm still working on figuring out which autoimmune disease I have right now. So it's not if, but which one right now. And so that started about, I've always kind of been the sick kid from a young age, but about, let's see, I was 23 when I first started getting diagnosis process with my spine. It also kind of started with wrist pain and dropping things a lot at work. And I got checked out for carpal tunnel because both my parents are brass musicians. So naturally, I thought, they've had carpal tunnel. I should get checked out first. Got checked out. Wrist specialist goes, it's not your wrist, everything in your wrist and arm, it's fine. Have you ever had your neck checked? And to put a long story short, I found out my neck was curved backwards from what it should be. And since then, I've had 5 spine surgeries, both between my neck and my low back. And hoping it's going to be a long time before I have another one right now. But right now it's dealing with figuring out navigating POTS and also autoimmune, whatever is going on with that right now. So it's been a journey for sure. But my husband actually was the person who really encouraged me to put together the podcast. This is actually my second podcast. The first was about secular feminism, especially from a humanist point of view. And now I am doing sort of an interview format where I talk to both professionals in the medical field and people who are patients like me who have been dealing with navigating the medical system and trying to kind of pull apart pieces like gendered bias, not being listened to, that kind of thing, and figure out what we can do to affect positive changes in those areas by telling our stories.
Smart. Yes. It's crazy how that is the one thing that we all have in common. We have all experienced some level of gaslighting, and how insane is that that's just so common. At some point there's been some issue with trying to like be believed. And like why do people not want to believe us? Why?
Yeah, it's an excellent question because there are people out there who do believe you the first time,
Yeah.
and we like to call them unicorns because
Yeah.
it feels rare, even
Yeah.
though I'm sure there are plenty of medical providers out there who listened the first time.
Yeah.
It's just finding the right person
Weirdly
for the
hard to
condition that
find.
you've got. Yeah, I was actually interviewing a friend yesterday who had Chiari, which is where part of your brainstem is like pushing
Oh
down
yeah.
into your
Yeah.
spine. And they were talking about how there's only like a baker's dozen of specialists who actually
Oh my
deal with that
gosh.
in the United States alone.
Yeah.
And so it's very dependent on what specialty and special interests
Yeah.
that provider has. And
Yeah.
so it's really interesting to see how difficult it is in our current systems all over the world to say things like, I don't know, this warrants further investigation, because there's not a checkbox for that for
Yeah.
insurance purposes.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really give us the wiggle room to say, I don't know, except to
Yeah.
refer you to another specialist.
And a lot of times, like, they have a hard time just saying, I don't know. And, like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Again, why? It's just as easy as saying, I believe you, to say, I
Yeah.
don't know. And, like, I would just have so much respect for a doctor who admitted it. Because, like, I mean, you're not the only one who has like a whole alphabet of diagnoses. I'm similar as well. Like there's always a collection of things. And then like so I'm hypermobile and this is something that is it's considered rare, but like I'd like to send out a poll because I don't think it is. It's not that rare. It's just rare that you find a doctor that understands it and properly diagnoses it because it affects so many different things. And so, like,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's hard. And I mean, like, as a doctor, you have to know so much. And, like, there's just no way you can have a good understanding of all of these things. But,
Oh,
like,
for
could
sure.
they
And there
just
are
have
so
a better
many.
approach of, like, finding the answer, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Have they
And
tried
there are so many
ChatGPT?
there are so many conditions too that have comorbidities, or
Yeah.
um, all of their symptoms are very similar.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to kind of take apart the thread to figure out exactly which
Yeah.
condition is causing these symptoms versus these symptoms, or is it one condition causing all of them?
That was
So
my
it's,
big problem for the longest time
yeah.
was just being able to like connect all the dots. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm trying to get investigated for POTS because I got my hypermobility diagnosis and I know that those go hand in hand. So I'm like, okay, so it's very likely that this other weird issue that I'm having is probably connected. And did you know that you're very likely to be neurodivergent if you are hypermobile?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
think that that one's like what a cool and random like connection of things. Like what's the what's the connection there? They don't fully know yet. They're looking
Yeah.
into
And
it, but
there's a lot of connection too with autoimmune diseases in women.
mhm.
And I, in my heart of hearts, believe that the reason that there is so little research on it is because it affects more women than it does men. So if
Yeah.
there were more research into it, then maybe we would have a better understanding and an easier time diagnosing these things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how like the research has just been skipped over. Like
Mm-hmm.
what again, how did nobody like and I get how sexism works, but at like no point anyone was like, "Hey, how does this maybe work differently?" Like on a I'm curious kind of like how do
Yeah.
these bodies work differently? Should we figure out if it's different?
Not to
I would have
mention,
been interested to figure that out.
oh, yeah, not to mention all of the other intersections that we have with like um, race, uh,
Oh yeah.
nationality, in terms of like where your ancestry
Yeah.
comes from, and your actual like chromosomal makeup
Yeah.
and that sort of
Like,
thing. And
how did we manage to diversify people so much based on race and gender and all of those things and still assume that all of their bodies work exactly the same? Like,
yeah,
how can we assume they
it's
work all the same and not even have equality? Like,
it's very
the big
puzzling.
questions we need answered, right? Like, these are the things that are important that we need
I, f-
answers
I
to.
feel like that the thing that radicalized me about this so much, not that I wasn't already by virtue of being a disabled woman in the United States,
Mm.
but um, the show Shrill, um, with the woman who's on Saturday Night Live, she has a line where she's like in a scene talking about how Plan B only works uh, up to a certain weight, and how if
I know that.
you are over that weight, there's a chance it may or may not work.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah. And I'm like, there's so many people who are above that weight who are trying to use that, and it may or may not work for them. And so you have to be super careful
Yeah.
about like reading the instructions and stuff, but also like, does anybody even know what you do in that case? So do you take more? Do you take something else? Like,
I would
what do you
never
do?
I would never have
It's
thought to ask.
baffling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And did you know that some antibiotics can cancel out your birth control? Another
Hmm.
fun fact that they don't tell you.
Yeah. Also,
I
grapefruit
have a
juice can
niece
be,
because of that.
yeah, grapefruit juice can get in the way of some of the psych meds too. Yeah. So don't drink grapefruit juice if you have that particular psych med.
So
There's a
fun.
list of them somewhere, but
So
it's
fun.
amazing these little things that you don't think about
Yeah.
until you're taking it and you go, oh, I
Yeah.
should probably read the entire booklet that they gave me with my medication, because
Yeah.
um, chances are good I'm not going to know what I don't know
Yeah.
to ask the pharmacist
Well,
a
and I just
question or to
like,
ask the doctor a
yeah.
question.
I just started a new medication and like, so I mean, I always do make a point because like my doctor has, I have, I have a really good doctor right now. I really like her. She believes me and she refers me, and so she is great. However, she is still a doctor and rushed and everything, so she's switched my medication. And I was kind of waiting for her to say something like about, side effects and the effects that you'd expect to feel. Nothing, obviously. So I make sure to ask my pharmacist because I'm smart like that. And even they still like missed a bunch of things. But like
Yeah.
so I then went home and like and then as time went, I had to keep googling things. I'm like, is this a side effect? I am having the like craziest dreams.
Yeah.
No one mentioned that like dreams were a side. I didn't even know that dreams were a side effect you could have from medication until all of a sudden I'm like, this is wild. What's going on? And I commented on it, and some like a bunch of other people said that they've experienced the same thing. Sounds like I'm lucky that like it could have been nightmares, and mostly it's just really weird dreams.
Yeah. I love playing that game of, is this a side effect or a
Yeah,
new symptom?
yeah,
Because, like, for instance, right now, you may notice my cheeks are really flushed. I am taking something for my autoimmune stuff that causes me to occasionally just flush really badly. And so it looks like I've been like working outside in the sun for like an
yeah,
hour, and it's just a side effect of the medication.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Sun sensitivity. That was the other fun surprise. I'm
Hmm.
already not like great with the sun, and then I went out the first time, and I was like, "Why does my skin feel like it's sizzling? Like, what's going on?" Google, Google. This causes sun sensitivity. You may burn
Yeah.
very quickly, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, yeah, neat." Back into the shade I go. It's
Yeah.
forever.
I tell people I have two colors, and that is lobster and Victorian ghost child,
No, yeah, me too.
because I just stay out of the sun
Yeah.
entirely. And living in the southeastern United States, that is a little challenging.
Yeah, that is hard. I live in other side, Western Canada, um, where like our summers are really hot. They're really intense, and yeah, same thing. And so like I'm constantly hiding, and these like, I mean, just these are all the reasons why finding jobs is hard. Like, how
Yes.
much would I love to work as like a landscaper and hang out in gardens all day? That would be amazing. But not only would my body probably just like fall apart, but I can't even hang out in the sun. And like,
Yeah.
then I look into jobs where it's like, okay, well, and maybe I need to be doing a little less. Okay, but you have to just stand there or just sit there. And I can't do that. I can't do either of those for any length of time because I don't know why staying still is so freaking hard, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and the constant changing symptoms, my biggest thing that I've said over and over as to why I'm starting my own business, why I'm working on being a freelancer and a content strategist. I do not want to ever call another adult and have to explain to them why I am sick. No, not again. Still, it's still, and I need the day off.
Yeah.
Cannot do it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is that when you're looking for work, it's you have to be able to come up with exactly the accommodations that you would need in order to be able to be successful.
Yeah,
And sometimes even you don't know what that is until you get into the situation and go, oh, this is
yeah,
not going to work.
yeah,
So it's really important to, reflect on yourself and what symptoms you have and whether you can fit with the job listing or not. But
yeah,
also it's up to employers to put things like if you need to lift 50 pounds, or if you need to be sitting all day, or if you need to be in front of a computer all day, to be detailed and intentional about the listings just as much as you need to be intentional about looking at the listings and figuring out if it matches up with you. And I feel like this is where things like AI would be really useful in that it compiles data.
yeah,
And if it's compiling data between like this job listing versus these accommodations that you need, if
yeah.
it were to like match it up somehow, I think that would be amazing. So
I mean, like,
anybody
and
out there
let's just
who's
like
doing that, make it work.
let's just start our rant with the listings themselves. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh, okay, so I have been unemployed for just over a year now, and I have probably looked through upwards to several thousand listings. And I have found maybe five that were listed out well, that actually described the business and the job that you would do without like a whole bunch of fluff and just like weird businessy lingo to it. Like, why? And actually, like, described what you were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And still, though, they mostly, like, they were asking for a content writer and had, like, a description of something that would be a strategist, a social media manager, an editor.
Yeah. Yeah,
These
it's one job
listings!
listing for 10 jobs that one person's expected to do.
Why?
Absolutely. Um, I compare it to recipe websites
Oh, yeah.
where you have to like scroll through all of the culture stuff that's like got all the buzzwords to
Yeah.
find the fine print that says this is
Yeah.
actually not remote. You have to report to the office 2 days a week,
Oh, my
or
God.
it's remote, but you can only do it from this
Yeah.
city and state, just in
Yeah,
case
that
we
one.
call you back to the office.
Yeah.
Which, like, if you're going to do that, you need to warn people ahead of time because they may not live there.
Yeah. Like, these
And
are the things that need to be top level. And, like,
and
I
an all
just so
travel job
badly
is
want
not a
to be able
remote
to like
job.
message them all back and be like, the person you need to hire is somebody to write this because this is a horrible,
Yes.
horrible listing because this gives me
Yeah.
nothing. And I don't think I have ever actually come across one that would list out something like in any way towards accommodations, in any way
Yeah.
towards like, we have like a quiet office with lower lighting, or like you are allowed to wear headphones, or like, like I'm just trying to think of like the very basic of accommodations.
Yeah,
Let
it's
alone
it's
like
incredible
anything that
they
has
don't
like
have to
this
put
is
that.
wheelchair accessible or this is like ground level or things like that, because like I've gone to places and I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I would have to walk up like 3 flights of stairs every day, several
Oh,
times a day." Like turns out no, I'm not doing this. And then like,
yeah.
yeah. And they just, that's not a thing that they would ever think to list, and why not? And even so, I mean, like, so I'm in Canada and you're in the US, and we do have like several differences. You guys have, what's it, the ADA? The
Yeah.
what's that
Americans
actually?
with Disabilities
Yes.
Act.
The
Yeah.
Americans with
For
Disabilities
now.
Act. We
We have it for now.
hmm.
That's a different
That's a
conversation.
whole different conversation and a whole longer rant. But we don't even actually have something similar. Like I think we have it in our human rights, but we don't have a very set act that I know of.
Mhm.
Please correct me
Okay.
if I'm wrong. If somebody like comes across this and they're like, no, obviously we do. I have not come across one and that is like the same and equivalent. Um, so I still find that like a lot of employers around here like just don't even know that there are accommodations and things that would need to be made. Like, there's no general act that even brings awareness to this.
hmm
And that's like crazy to me. It's
Yeah, and it's at least in the United States, in my experience, just talking to people who have tried to get accommodations from companies that are not super accommodating, the reality is that while the ADA does exist, most companies get out of having to actually
yeah,
comply with them.
yeah,
Even if it means that they're having to pay a fine, they still get away with it. So, I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't make any difference really,
And like,
except for, wanting to get the good talent in
yeah.
their position.
On top of that, I can imagine there's just like so many people who wouldn't even go about reporting because then they could lose their job or the stigma of it all or
Or in our case, you have to ask the Social Security Disability uh, department to have permission to sue for accommodations. It's weird.
nice,
At
lovely.
least according to one of the people that I've interviewed for my podcast, it was very strange that you would have to ask permission to sue in order to get
Yeah.
accommodations. But then, if you get the accommodations, are you just going to be alienated from the whole
Yeah.
company because you sued them for accommodations? So
I've always
it's
worried
always a
about
catch
that one.
twenty
Like,
two.
if I fought for it, am I now just like a pariah? Like, am I now just like this weird odd person out? And like, I personally think that I deserve it and that everybody deserves it and like everybody should be accommodated and like other people should ask for what they need as well. But like, I would I would hate to be that one person. I would totally end up being that one person. I'm absolutely going to be the problem 100% of the time. But I would like hate it a little bit to be like looked at like that.
Yeah, and it's difficult because if you miss work or are like not on time or something like that, you're already making yourself a target
Yeah.
by not being somebody who's
Yeah.
got like the
You're not
award
a
for
team
best attendance.
player.
Yeah, and so it's hard enough dealing with that,
Yeah.
but then to do on top of that like a lawsuit and everything,
And
that's
like on top of all
tough.
that, like I'm assuming for most places, they're going to require a diagnosis. They're going to require a piece of paper that says, "Yep, for sure, they have this thing. They need this." And that's just not accessible to everybody. Like I am a huge proponent for self-diagnosis, um, because in both of our countries, whether it comes down to money or just access or stigma or whatever else, like diagnoses are not always accessible. Like it's not always easy to get, and a lot of times we know ourselves better than anyone's gonna know us. So like, I mean, I know I'm neurodivergent. I am so for certain the ADHD. Still just mostly certain on the ADHD, but I have no interest in going and getting a written diagnosis unless I have to go back to a workplace. And then I will have to. And I'm just like so upset because like I don't want that diagnosis because the amount of extra medical trauma I'm going to have to go through, where I'm going to have to actually find a doctor, wait for a doctor because our waiting times are awful. Find somebody who actually is going to see these traits in a woman who has masked for 38 years. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because that one's a huge one. Good times, all that. And it's just so much. But to like go back to a place, I tried to apply for this one job. And it was a writing job, and so it was, sounded like a great thing. And then I was talking to him, and he said that it like was in office, and I was like, okay, can you like describe the office like atmosphere? And it was a big room with fluorescent lights where everybody was working together. And I was like, ew, right? Doesn't that just make you cringe? Like, I was like, how does anybody write anything like the whole
How do you get
job was
anything
like
done?
reading books and writing like summaries and reviews about them. And I'm like, how does anybody get any of that done in that kind of atmosphere? That's insane. Like,
I don't understand how anyone in an open concept office or even with cubicles gets
yeah,
anything done without constantly having headphones in.
no,
Because I would get so distracted so easily.
yeah,
And like I would have to have music on or something like that to focus in on what I'm doing.
yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just like gone.
I saw someone post on Threads the other day something along the lines of like people are dressing up their cubicles and putting little roofs on and making it all cozy and changing the lighting and having blankets. Like, how are people working like this? And I'm like, how are people working any other way? Like, how are you not
Yeah.
as cozy as possible while having to do this menial labor? Like, what do you mean you're not making your space as comfy as possible? And
Hmm.
like since working at home, like I've realized a lot more of the accommodations that really help me. Like lighting is huge for me. I cannot concentrate in bright light.
Yeah.
Cannot. Literally
I'm
only
actually
have lighting
moving.
right now, like my windows open so that you can see me on the screen. Otherwise, it's just very dark and poor quality. Um,
I'm moving
sound.
my desk to the other side of the room soon because I am currently sitting in front of two windows. And if you'll notice, my eyes are like having difficulty staying open because of the
Yeah.
natural light. And there's blinds, but
Yeah.
it's still so much natural light that I
I need to
like
get a
cannot handle it.
filter for my window, like something in between. I've got some like fabric that I might be working with. I've got the same thing. Like I've got the window right here, and I moved my desk specifically here because I was like, then I'm gonna film, and I can just open my windows. Well, also turns out the sun is right there until
Yep.
like 3 or something like that in the afternoon, so I can't do anything until the sun is like away. Otherwise, it's like a very bright like glare in my face. But like lighting, sound, I really like to do a lot of my tasks with the TV on. And so like
Yeah.
most people understand music, most people can deal with like and I cannot just listen to like radio or whatever they would have on in an office. No, thank you. Like it
Yeah.
has to be like hyper focus music or television, like something that's going to take that part of my brain that's otherwise distracted and trying to pull me somewhere else. And that's not something you can do in an office. Like, you can't have a TV on your second screen while you're doing your work, usually.
Absolutely. And that's something too that like for neurodivergent folks,
Mm-hmm.
I learned it on How to ADHD. Her channel is amazing, by the
How
way.
to
Uh,
ADHD?
yeah, oh my
Love
gosh,
that.
she's
Okay, I'm
amazing.
gonna look that up.
I learned the term body doubling from her.
Love that,
And
yeah.
essentially, it's like tricking yourself either by having like somebody on a screen who's like
Yeah,
doing a co-working space kind of thing, or
yeah,
having like the TV on or something, tricking yourself into thinking that somebody else is there with you because
yeah.
it helps you to focus in on whatever you're doing because you're like, oh, somebody's going to check in on me.
Yeah. That's actually
And so
something that I'm
it
working
helps
on
me a
adding
lot.
into the Cozy Creators Club in our Discord group is some
Yay!
more cozy co-working sessions and some like get together and planning sessions. So
Oh,
if
I
you
love
haven't
that.
joined yet, links are below. Come join us in the Discord group. It's going to be so much
Yeah, I
fun.
totally
All
need to do that.
free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I love doing things like that and the body doubling, which is like, oh my, like, I mean, which I feel is like the boss's idea of like what the office is doing for people. Like they think that people are coming in and that they will feel compelled to do their work the whole time because people are watching them, which is like ridiculous. I can be somewhere for 8 hours and look like I'm working very efficiently, and get nothing done. But you send me home for like 2 hours, I will get that 8 hours of work done well, quickly, while I had the TV on, my low lights, my cozy jammies, my being able to stay in comfy clothes. To be honest, no bra. To have to wear a bra every day again, couldn't do it. Can't
Oh
make me.
gosh, yeah, no, thank you.
Can't make me. PJ pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I trussed up the upper top a little bit because Oh,
Blanky.
I've got my blankie. We're a good temperature in here today, but I've got my blankie. My chair too. Like I've got a chair that like I can sit back and relax in because I really need that for my hips. It has a footstool because I really need that to be able to put my legs up because I don't know why, but like hypermobile people cannot sit normally, and I'm one of them. I can't sit normally. And
Oh,
if I have
same.
to sit normally in a chair to be like no.
I tend to sit in a four where like I have one ankle underneath a knee.
Doing that now.
And yeah, and I've seen a lot of ads on TikTok for the chair that has like the little foot part so that you can sit cross-legged and stuff like that. And I've thought about getting one for, I forgot to tell you, my new job that I just got,
Yes, I was gonna
that
ask.
I start at the end of the month. I'm so excited,
That's
but
so
it's a
exciting.
remote job. Something that I was going to mention though is that it's really hard to network as a disabled person because you're going to like in-person events where you're just
Yeah.
standing around or walking around the whole time.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who does those has a rollator that she sits in during these things or brings it with her so that she's
Yeah.
got the support. And it's such a great idea because especially if you get dizzy or something like
Yeah.
that easily, it's so nice to be able to have something to sit on
I'm
when
definitely getting to the point where
you
if I
need
did like an
to.
all day thing, I would need something like that. Like if it was
Oh,
expected that I was going to be
absolutely.
standing for most of the time, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely need something like that. And I mean, like, so, I mean, there is the whole issue of finding a traditional real person made like job where you're actually going to a place and you're in a place with a boss and everything. And then we come into the like freelancing side of it, right? Like where you do
Yeah.
have to like cuz that is a whole different thing. Like we can work at home and everything and it seems like we have all of this accommodation, but now we have issues like managing our own time and our own tasks. And if you have ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
you know that that's really difficult. Being able to afford the things that we need, like getting the chair and everything that you might need for things like that. And then yeah, the networking events. Like I've been loving Threads lately. Threads is my new like
Yes.
networking home base. And
Mm-hmm.
it turns out that apparently like if I just like say whatever's on my mind, it actually like works out really well for me. Would never have guessed. Should, this should be
Oh,
more
yeah.
filtered, but turns out Threads loves it. So I'm going with it. That's like my new networking home base. And then videos like this, but just like the amount of people who would rather go to a big, like, in person. We had one actually, they were advertising. Who was it with? It was with one of the bigger School, Skool. It's a teaching
Okay.
platform, I believe. And they were hosting one here in Kelowna. And it sounded so cool. But it was an all day thing with
Oh
like,
gosh.
yeah, where you had to go from like place to place and room to room. And I was like, I would be just done. Like, I collapse after one conversation. Like, I can only book
Yeah,
like one call a day already.
And it's difficult because there are more, I think, creative places to network for people who are disabled. So like, you just never know, but part of it is just putting yourself out there. So you never know where you're going to find your next job, and being like active on LinkedIn and stuff like that. Honestly, it's helpful, but LinkedIn is also becoming the new Facebook, and it's tough out there. But it's important to have the page at least, so you can refer people to it. But like commenting on things and stuff like that, reaching out to people though is a great way to find your next position, especially like in unexpected places, like the Discord for Chronically Cozy Life, or the Discord for your favorite podcast, or just
my directory, my Cozy directory.
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, oh my gosh, I have to tell you, this morning, actually, I just got a message from one of my friends. So, the first person who did a podcast with me, actually, you can see her episode. It's the first
awesome.
one. So she was actually one of the first to be in my directory. Someone found her and hired her from there today. It's working!
So cool.
It's working!
That's awesome.
I'm so excited. Like, that is just like my biggest hope, and I love it so much. And like, I mean, it doesn't benefit me a ton, but just to like see all the connections and stuff being made, I love it so much.
Absolutely.
And like, that's why I'm working on building this like creators club, because the networking of it all is so hard, and most of us are we're creating things that would be focused on our people as well. So we might as well network and sell to our people. So in my Discord group, like, I have sections for like posting your services and your products, and for collaborations, and we have like different weekly chats on things, and I'm working on adding more like interactive calls and stuff, which I'm really excited about. So
that's super cool to have a centralized place for that, because it's so scattered on the internet as far as trying to find places to network.
I was honestly really surprised that I couldn't find more places, and there are some that are focused, but there are a lot that are focused on just neurodivergent people or just chronically ill people. There's not many, really. Like, there's still not many. But there's just like a lot that are really, really narrow. And I was just like, we need something that's just like the entrepreneurs and creators. We can come together, chat about it all. I do like a weekly question of the week kind of thing. And this week and like last week, we've been talking about the tech of it all. With Kit doing their randomly like, hey, we're going to now charge you $1 billion to have your email list with us. Boo, Kit. Yeah, I'm a little mad at them right now. So I was talking about that last week, and like which email lists we're using, and some people shared some like some information I didn't know, that you could do some different things, and that was amazing. And this week we're talking about like the tech stack of it all, like what do we have that's all working together. And so it's just nice to see what everybody's using and like how we're making it all work, because like, as chronically ill and neurodivergent entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs alone, like, we don't always have a ton of money to put out there. And that became like the huge conversation too when Kit changed their prices on Threads. Like, there was like, it started with this huge conversation about the fact that they did that, and then there was like a whole bunch of people that came in like, well, if you can't afford it, if you can't afford the price of doing business, ew. First of all, some of us are not tech bros or finance bros. Like, okay, like, chill out. And second of all, like, a lot of us are doing this, like, because we have to. Would I love to just go get a regular job and be able to show up at a regular job 40 hours, like, Monday to Friday, and have weekends? Because what's a weekend? Yeah, I would love that. That would be amazing. Would I love to be able to invest thousands of dollars into building my own business and putting out ads? Yeah, that would be amazing. However, I'm doing this because I have to, and it's hard. And we all need a little help.
Absolutely. And I think it's a bit ignorant to be excluding
Mm.
so many people, because small businesses make up the majority of businesses, at least in the United States.
Small
So like,
businesses have been really hit hard lately. And like,
yeah,
it does seem just so dumb, right? Because like, yeah, there's so many of us that like
mm-hmm,
if you target us in the right way, you can make a lot of money off us. But their whole
yeah,
change was that they were taking away their lowest price. And their whole thing is we're for creators. We're for creators. They have a creators network and everything that does work very well. Um, but like then they took that away because they were like, well, it's not really worth it for us to maintain. Like, okay, well, like it was worth it for a whole bunch of us to be signed up and paying you the money we were paying you, but like I guess now it's not. And I know they're not
yeah.
the
And
only one.
the problem too is like, the bigger creators are not going to go to that now because they can't recommend it to their friends who are smaller
Yes.
creators who are just starting out. And so you can't become a bigger
Yeah.
creator if you're starting out at this smaller thing and you don't have the resources to grow.
Yeah.
And so the problem with pissing off a creator, to be frank, is that their whole job is communicating.
Yeah. My literal
They're
whole
about to
job is
communicate
telling
how much they
people
hate it. Yeah.
what the easiest, best, and affordable tools are and like how you should build your business. And sorry, but now I'm going to tell them not to use Kit because Kit is
Yeah.
going to be very expensive and they don't care about their small creators.
Yeah.
They do
It's
some
hard.
things right enough though that I'm very annoyed with having to switch. Like
Yeah,
that
and
known.
it's one thing that I wanted to touch on for sure is like looking out for scam listings
Oh my god,
on
yes.
job boards, because it is so rampant right
So
now, especially when you're
much.
looking for remote jobs.
So much.
So
Oh my
one
gosh, and
thing,
being a writer,
yeah, for sure. Like anybody who asks you to do work without getting paid,
don't do it.
um, don't do it.
They're
Or if
taking your
it is,
work and they're using it anyways without ever calling you. I never thought of
yeah,
that. And then I was like, somebody told me that, and I was like, well, why wouldn't they? I just sent them a whole blog post. Obviously, they're just using that.
yeah, and if they do, feel free to send them an invoice,
Yeah.
because they have taken your labor for free.
Yeah.
If you're asked to pay for training or equipment, don't do it.
Yeah, can we
If
just
there
make
is,
learning how to work cheaper just in general? This is a
yeah,
shout out to every coach who's posted in any of my like comments recently trying to charge me for something. I had somebody like pitch like a program to me that was like $2,500 the other day. I'm like, I am sitting here telling
what?
you that like I am a broke entrepreneur and you're gonna try and sell me a program that's gonna teach me one thing for 2,500. Ma'am, no. I'm
I've had
broke.
surgeries that
And
cost less than
do I
that
be-
after insurance.
yeah, right? Do I believe in investing in my business? 100%. I do. I believe in investing like in education? 110%. I do. But it has to be affordable. Like nobody can do that. And maybe you are getting some people. Maybe you're getting a
Yeah,
few. And like it just I get business. I get business, but then like also why can't we just be freaking humans about it? Why does business have to come hand in hand with like greed and hustle and trying to make the most? I really like
yeah,
my big thing about with my services and my products is making them affordable and gentle and accessible. Like my coaching
mm-hmm,
is all in small bits, like not huge commitments because we can't as chronically ill people, we can't make huge commitments. I can't promise that I'm going to be available for the next 6 months to work with you, but like we can do a month to month
ooh, yeah,
basis, right?
mm-hmm,
I've always struggled to sign up for things like that. Um, and then like to like the programs and stuff and the products that I'm making are all very small and affordable because getting like a huge product that's going to tell you like 500 different things that you're going to have to try and wade through and half of it's going to be useful, half of it's not. Like it's overwhelming. So I'm making all my things like bite-sized pieces. You can pick and choose what you need, take what you need, leave what you don't.
That's so nice though too,
Right?
because like you don't have to, as the other person, like commit to the 6 months
Yeah.
of everything, and you can just say, okay, I'm gonna try a little bit and see
Yeah.
how it goes. And that's where I think flexible scheduling for any job is super important
Yeah.
for accommodating people with disabilities or
Yeah.
neurodivergence of any kind, because um, I feel it's a lot more important to worry about whether the work gets done
Yeah.
rather than that it gets done within this 8 hour
Yeah. Or
time
in this
frame every
certain
day.
place, or yeah,
Yeah. As long as it
for
gets
sure.
done and it gets done on time, like it doesn't matter when you do it,
Yeah.
in my personal opinion. And
Yeah.
if it's like a meeting or something, you've got to have some like, interpersonal time
Yeah.
with each other to be able to come together and
Yeah.
talk about it. But if, it's a task and it's going to take time, why does it matter if it's done at 2 a.m.?
Yeah. Yeah. Why does it matter that
It's
I'm up and working at 6 in the morning and then like asleep or having a nap at 2? I don't
Yeah,
need to be.
exactly. So that's where like salaried positions are much more
Yeah.
useful for people with disabilities and neurodivergence, but it can be so much harder to get those jobs
So much
because of
harder.
disability and neurodivergence. So
Yeah. And like,
definitely ask about those kinds of things when you're interviewing. Like, is it more
yeah.
important to get the task done, or is it more important to get the task done within
Yeah.
these 8 hours?
Yeah. Having like a good list of the questions, like knowing what you need as accommodations and being able to ask. I know it's like it's so scary too, and I know it is. I've done it. Because you feel like they're gonna be like, oh, well, you need all of that, like, and then not want to work with you. And there are some accommodations where, like, I understand there's limits. There's limits in a workplace. I do get that. There's safety rules. That's a big thing. I understand that. But like, could we just try to be like a little bit more understanding? Like, if it really doesn't bother other people, why can't it be done? Like, if somebody's work schedule works a little bit differently and it doesn't affect their coworkers, why not? If they can be
Yeah.
somewhere else and it doesn't affect everybody else and they show up for the meetings, could it be an email? Please let it be an email.
Well, and that's funny too, because like people with kids seem to get a lot more workplace accommodations than people without kids,
Yeah.
because they go, my kid is sick and they can't go to daycare,
Yeah.
or I have to pick up my kid at 2:30 after they get done with school, something like that, and they get the accommodations to do that kind of thing and the flexibility.
Yeah.
But then people who are disabled, when it comes to their own accommodations for themselves,
Yeah.
don't get the same respect.
Well, it's because
And
parents are
so,
seen as doing this like super awesome thing, and like as a child-free person, I do feel a little bit of like animosity towards these people who get these kind of things because like I did get hit with that like during like holidays and stuff. Like, oh well, you should work the holidays because these people have a family, and I'm like, I have a freaking family too. Like, I just don't have children. Like, I have
yeah.
people who need me and people who want to see me as well. They're just not yay high. Like, you know,
Hmm.
it's a whole other thing. And then yeah, like when it comes to like, okay, well, why can't I leave at this early time for a doctor's appointment or whatever? Like, it's the same thing.
Right.
But
Yeah. And
oh, and
also, it's
appointments
none of
and
their business
meetings
what my
and
doctor appointment's about at
yes,
all.
so much. The like the nosiness of it all. Like, there's a
Hmm.
real hard line to walk where like you want to be open with your employer and tell them like as much as you can, because like when you can communicate your needs and what you want and what you can do and all of that, then you can have a better understanding and a better relationship. However, as a chronically ill person, like sometimes we just get sick of everybody knowing all of our shit all of the time, and like, yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
have to explain like why I'm ill today. Like, yes, it is the same illness all the time. It's different symptoms, yeah, but like, oh, and trying to explain a dynamic disability to anybody,
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, because like, oh, well, you could do it yesterday. Why can't you do it today?
Yeah,
I can't hear
I
that
get
anymore.
that
I can't.
completely, especially when like you really push yourself one day and
Yeah.
then the next day
Yeah.
or three you're going to be
Yeah.
recovering from that day. Like, for example, I've been painting that wall over there
Oh, yeah.
for 2 days, and I'm going to be paying for it
Oh,
in a
yeah.
minute here. But um, it's uh, it's interesting that people are so bad at realizing that just because you pushed yourself a little bit today doesn't mean that you can do that
Yeah.
again or should do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
probably shouldn't have pushed myself yesterday. I shouldn't have been doing that. That was a bad idea. I made it anyways, but
yeah, I mean, it's like asking somebody who's like completely able bodied to like run 10 miles when they haven't been training for it.
yeah.
And you go like, okay, you can do that once, but you're going to be recovering from like 2 weeks or
Yeah.
possibly injure yourself and then
Yeah.
be recovering for months.
Yeah.
So you're not going to do that, right?
But people don't understand the I get it. You're not asking me to run 10 miles. You're asking me to do something for the next 20 minutes. Same thing though. Like when you just, cause I've been working on cleaning up my backyard for fall, doing all the
Mm-hmm.
cutting down of shrubs and just cleaning out of weeds and stuff like that. And every day, it's taken me 3 days to get three small areas done because I am breaking it up because I'm being smart like that. And it kills me because every time I'm quitting, I'm like, I know that a healthy person would have done this all in a day. This is a 1 day project for most people. And I know that and I hate that. And but also I know that if I try to push myself to do it all in a day, I would be dead. The first
Yeah.
day I couldn't even move my arms when I was finishing and I had to leave it half undone to do the next day already. And that is reality of it. That is it's sucky, but it is the reality of it. I don't have a body that works well. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and we make accommodations for ourselves constantly in order to not overdo it so that we can
Yeah.
function the next day. But even then, we still may not be able to function as well the next
Oh my
day.
gosh, yeah.
That's just the nature of disability.
Yeah.
And so it's up to us, unfortunately, to communicate that with people to say, just because I'm okay today does not
Yeah.
mean tomorrow is going to be the same.
Yeah. Which is just the whole point of making these podcasts and writing all the blogs and doing all the things, right? We're just trying to get all of the information out there. We just want to be heard. We just
and
want
telling
people
your
to
story
understand.
is so important for other people to understand and empathize with
Yeah.
what's going on, because it is so hard to empathize with something that you've not experienced for yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so
And I get that.
having a loved one or a friend or somebody who has experienced these things,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to get somebody close to you's perspective on it.
Yeah.
But even then, their perspective may be different than our perspective.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to things like invisible illnesses, where somebody may look healthy but then have a disabled placard for their car.
Yeah.
And it's not up to you to judge whether somebody looks healthy or not.
Yeah. I always look real healthy sitting here until I try to stand up and walk away and my hips seize up and I stumble over.
Oh my gosh, when I stand up, I look like I've been riding a horse for 8 hours. Because I'll be wobbling back and forth trying to get my hip back into the joint.
Oh yeah, yeah, that moment where you have to stay bent over, just moving the hip around and doing that little dance. Yeah.
I windmill my leg trying to get it to pop back in.
Everybody else is looking at you strange. I've gotten sick of going out to dinner for that reason, because then you're just sitting at the dinner out the uncomfy chair, because it's always an uncomfy chair, something stylish or something. And then I go to get up and I'm like, like I look like like I'm freaking 80 every time. I'm
For
like,
me, it's the
I'm okay.
movies,
I'm just not okay. I just
right? Every time I go to the movies now, I bring my cane in the car just in case, because when we went to go
yeah.
see one of the Spider-Man movies, like I literally could not stand on my
No,
own
I bet.
after the
Yeah.
movie got done because I had been sitting for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Can't do that.
I can't move.
I can barely sit on my couch for any length of time. I'm like, after a while, I'm like, can we move to the bed? Like, I'm gonna move to the bed where I can sit with my legs out. Like, and like, there's a good
Yeah.
chunk of the time where I work from bed because that's what I need. That's the other accommodation I have, that I can work from bed when I need to. Because sometimes my body can't, but my brain can. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All of the things, right? Like just finding a job, having a job, running a business. It is complicated when you are chronically ill and have a neurodivergent brain. But when we
Yeah.
can work together and share all the things and talk about all the things, I think it does make it easier. I think it helps.
It definitely gives me hope that things like your show, my show,
Yeah.
your directory, your community, the communities that we're building together exist.
Yeah.
Because we can finally find each other and go, hey, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
And here's what I do to help.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help you.
Being chronically ill is super isolating. Being an entrepreneur, super isolating. Being both, a very unique and isolating experience. So like it just makes me so happy to like bring more people together and try to like combat that a little bit. And especially for those of us who are also like a little bit introverted and anxious and really like struggle with social things, like we can come together with people who are like, no, I get that you're introverted and anxious, and also we struggle with social things. And
Yeah.
I really like, I mean, and I always do this before these podcasts. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, but like, I know that like if that shows up on these podcasts, the only people watching are gonna understand because
Oh, yeah.
that's why you're here. You get the chronically cozy life, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I called myself the queen of rescheduling yesterday on my show because it was like, I'm of all people gonna understand if you need to reschedule because of your health stuff going on, or frankly anything, but like
literally
I will definitely empathize with it.
So chances are good I was already contemplating rescheduling and or canceling, so I'm probably not upset, and I'm probably gonna go have a nap now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I actually just did a little happy dance that things got canceled. As much as I want to work with people, I'm never upset. Yeah, that's exactly it. Rachel, I'm going to cut us off here because, oh my gosh, I think that we could just talk about all of these things for freaking forever. But, like, I don't want to edit 3 hours worth of video. Thank you so much for coming on here. Please give us that pitch of where we can find you and what you are doing right now.
Yes, so I am Rachel Woodward. I'm the host, producer, editor, etc. of Abiding Hysteria, the podcast. It is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, but you can also find me on social media at Abiding Hysteria on basically everything except for X. And I'm working on a website, but it is taking a minute, so bear with me. But we are working on getting more people interviewed. So if you're interested in telling your health story on my show, please email me at abidinghysteria@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your story, and hopefully we'll have Randy's story up soon.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it.
I'm so excited.
Being on podcasting and hosting podcasts is absolutely like my new favorite way to network and to hang out with people and to share and create content 100%. So also, if anybody wants to come and talk to me about their entrepreneurial journey with chronic illness and or neurodivergent brains, let me know. All of the links for everything that we have talked about today are going to be down in the description. Let's see, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and make sure that you subscribe to my newsletter because I send everything there. So if you don't want all the notifications from everywhere else, you can get it all there. Thank you again so much for being a guest. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I appreciate you all. Stay cozy. I'll see you next time.
Bye.